Well, the light makes it so that you can't see the screen.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
No! Try my woo wings.
All right. Finally got it.
There we go.
No more interruptions. No more interruptions. No more ghosts.
Damn Wyatt 6 attacking the podcast.
Yeah. Oh! Episode 72. We're just gonna get started. Welcome back to Midwest Midcard. Episode 72.
Bang.
If this is your first time listening, thank you for listening. Make sure that you, if you're on YouTube, like the video. Give a super kick to the subscribe button. And leave a comment, share with your friends on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music.
Jack Vaughn probably wouldn't like that I did the thigh slap, but he'll be all right.
And any other podcasting platforms, make sure you leave a review, 5 stars.
That's right.
And again, share it with your friends. Audio, video, who cares?
Nope.
If you're just listening to it, it's whatever.
No.
As long as you're...
Yeah.
As long as you're sharing it with somebody. So let's see. Well, you're back. When's the last time you were here? It's probably been a while.
I think it was right after King and Queen of the Ring, maybe.
So at least like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Brandon's out again. But I mean, we can already establish that he's like jumping
We
in
can
and
pretty
out.
much just go ahead and say that, like, you're the focal point, and then we'll just rotate.
There's a rotation of co-hosts.
Yeah.
I mean, we can definitely... Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, pretty much,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the guy.
Yeah, you're the guy, and the rest of us are all just trying to ride your coattails.
yeah, whatever. You gotta have good dance partners. That's what matters. So, as far as wrestling, I think this was, I don't know what you consider the wrestling week, but sometimes I feel like SmackDown, pay-per-view, Raw, that's what I like.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I like piece them together, especially when there's a pay-per-view, because, that's just, the storylines kind of work like that sometimes. The Raws before pay-per-views are not super eventful normally.
Yeah.
And the SmackDowns, they try to do something, especially when they're running their international shows.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're running them in the same arena that they're running the show. So we got, lots has happened. And you know what? Last week, Raw and SmackDown were both really, really good with the debut of the Wyatt 6, which I talked about with Brennan, the other host. And now on Friday, Jacob Fatu finally showed up.
I've been so fucking hyped.
I don't know. That's definitely been like an ongoing thing of being like, well, you can put him here or you can put him here.
I started to believe it wasn't happening.
Really?
Yeah. Because I started seeing like where they're talking about Hikuleo. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, so they're talking about him, but
no, dude,
is Jacob never gonna show up?
I feel like I remember very little from him from New Japan, because this was like dark days of like they were doing like God versus like Bullet Club and like like the Firing Squad versus the rest of Bullet Club.
The whole like Bullet Club Civil War type shit.
Yeah, so I was kind of like already a little bit checked out. I just know he was a big dude, and I was like, okay, like he's just kind of there. So if they were truly going to bring him in, I was just like, I mean, he's there just essentially. If you want to talk about like a nepotism hire, like that's kind of, I mean, he's more of a nepo than, I mean, literally like, and there's no disrespect to Tangaloa. He's much bigger than me, and he's Tongan.
Yeah. I was going to say, go ahead and piss off a Tongan, Carlos. Let's see how this goes.
But I don't know, man. I would have not brought him in specifically. Tama Tonga seems like a long time coming.
Yeah, like I think Tama Tonga coming in is more of a Tama Tonga coming in is like the thing that should have happened a long time ago. Tonga Loa being brought in is you guys have seen them as GOD for years, so we'll bring him in, and then maybe we'll sprinkle that in coming up. But right now, the bloodline thing is so strong that I don't think you're going to see anything outside of that for a minute.
Did they work as a tag yet? They did, right? On SmackDown?
I believe so, yeah, didn't they? Yeah.
It's just, like, if you were going to bring G.O.D. in, you should have just brought G.O.D.
But with them being, like, you really can't get past the fact that they're family. So, I mean...
Yeah. No,
that's kind of their way of, like, getting them in, and then they'll probably branch out at some point.
I got that. And honestly, I mean, they might get 10 years out of them. Who the hell knows?
Oh, and for honestly,
sure. If they want to, like... make the tag team division stronger. I mean, it's good to have a solid tag team there.
Oh, yeah. And the fact that the tag titles are now split and stuff, like, you can really go for a minute.
And they're capable of having good matches. I mean, obviously, there's the very famous clips of Tonga Loa not doing very good. I think it was the last G1, maybe? Or
Okada.
Oh, my God. It was just horrible, like, just, like, hits. And maybe it wasn't the G1, but I remember he had a match with Okada that wasn't...
It was bad.
And, well, Okada was still in New Japan, so it had to be.
Yeah.
It probably was last year. Who the hell knows? I'm not going to verify that one. I'm just going to move on.
Like, I'm not trained at all, but I probably could have made something look better. Like, that was rough. And as soon as he showed up, people were like, oh, this is the guy you're hyped for?
I like the edit that somebody made that's like, man, fuck the big three. It's just Big V. It's Tonga Loa doing a 619.
God.
I just don't know what got into him. And he wasn't particularly bad in WWE. I mean, he got to WWE in the first place. Yeah. So, like, that's a pretty big fucking accomplishment.
Yeah.
But also, it was, like, the era of, like, this guy's big, so he must be good.
Yeah, I mean...
he's a big
I wonder
boy.
if he still got the bike.
The Camacho bike? I wish he would come out with it. So Jacob Fatu is like probably one of the biggest acquisitions since Cody. I just can't think of like anybody else that's come in with like the amount of hype that Jacob Fatu came in.
For a lot of people, probably. I was huge on Tama Tonga coming in.
No, yeah, I mean, I like Tama Tonga, but I don't know, man. Fatu was rumored before Tama Tonga.
Yeah.
Like, everyone thought Fatu was going to come in, and then Tama Tonga kind of just showed up out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, he's next, maybe? Or, like, he's going to help Roman, or... Yeah. I mean, I feel like Jacob Fatu came to play probably before Mania, right? That's when they, like, signed him?
The rumor that I've seen on Twitter is that he's been signed for months. He was backstage at Mania. Mm-hmm. Like, he's just been hanging out for a minute, and that everybody backstage has gotten, like, a really good, like, feel from him and everything, and that they're ready to see what he's got.
Yeah. I mean, he looked great. It looks like he cut some weight.
Oh, yeah, dude. Look, like, he's hitting that AJ shit. Like, he showed up and started kicking people, and I was like, who the fuck is that? And then they're like, you know who that is? That's Jacob. I'm like, that's not Jacob. That guy would eat Jacob. But, like, what the hell?
It looks like they're calling him Jacob Fatu.
They better. Everybody else got to keep their name.
That's true. Well, Tonga, he went from Tonga to Tonga. It's like Tanga instead of Tonga. So they did make a slight change.
Yeah, a little
bit. I feel like now they're fucking with us. They file for a trademark, and it's like Caesar Sikoa.
Yeah.
I think they're just fucking with us.
I hope they're not, because like somebody did point out, like Julius Caesar did take out the Roman Empire.
I think there's something to marketing with the word Caesar Sikoa.
Oh yeah, for
like
sure.
For a T-shirt. So if they like filed the trademark for merchandising, then yes, they probably are thinking about making some sort of Cesar Sikoa.
Oh yeah, it could be something legit. Like I put on a Booker's hat for a minute and was like,
I mean, calling yourself Cesar is like a bad omen. You know how that ended.
yeah,
So
yeah, it's bad, but I mean, I don't know. Like
it's such a wacky combination of names.
Just the initial like what could be Solo maybe being able to take out Roman would be incredible, but then seeing the breakdown and then the rest of them just be like, no, fuck you, and take him all out, that would be incredible.
So to me, the Tongans were like not with it when Fatu came out. They kind of like once like they he cleaned up house. He beat up Randy. Well, so he super kicked Randy. Randy got taken out. He was going to get KO. KO super kicked him. Yeah. He no-sold that. And then he clotheslined
the shit out of him.
He fucking turned him upside
down. Kevin takes a great clothesline.
Yeah, I mean, for a guy his size, I mean, fuck. And then he finally took out Cody. He did the splash from the corner to the table.
Yeah, great.
And then, they were kind of posting. They were throwing up the one. And the Tongans were like, what the fuck? They were like looking at each other like, what the hell's going on? And I don't think, I mean, obviously, Corey said, this is the guy nobody wanted anything to do with. But I feel like they said that about Tangaloa when he came in. They were like, this guy's got a fucking warrant out for arrest right now. Imagine when Zila Fatu comes in and they're like, this guy actually has caught a body.
Like, you could tell there was some, like, straight up like, what the fuck is that guy doing here? But at the same time they were like, well shit, he just took out like 3 of them, so yeah. So I don't think it's I'm worried about Fatu. It's more like seems like Solo just doesn't communicate well with the rest of the bloodline. Fuck no.
He's just like doing whatever the fuck he wants, and then it's gonna backfire on him. Like not being organized is gonna backfire.
Well, look how long is like Heyman, like just this past week, I think, was like, hey, you're doing stuff, and when Roman comes back, and he's like, Roman's not coming back,
right? and
Heyman's like, what the fuck, no?
And I feel like they haven't even fallen in line per se. Like I don't think that.
No,
I don't think that Tama Tonga and Tangaloa are like they're there with Solo Sikoa, but they're not like really like taking orders for. It doesn't seem like they are anyway. Like the dynamic is the power dynamic is much different.
No,
it's more like we're all here like together and we're like doing whatever, and it's from orders of the tribal chief. But I think that the fact that they don't fall in line the way that Roman kind of had like that, like I said, that power dynamic is gonna backfire on him when you bring somebody in like Jacob Fatu that maybe it's like not.
Oh, for sure,
he's not gonna be fucking with it.
Yeah,
and then that's gonna create a problem. I hope that the payoff to that it's longer because I think it's silly to bring him in and then just be like, well, actually, he's on the other side now.
I think Jacob's going to take the spot that Solo had under Roman. He's going to be like the hitman.
Yeah, the enforcer.
Yeah, he's going to be the enforcer, everything. You're going to see Solo kind of take up more, unfortunately, because I'm not a huge fan of it, but he's going to take on more of the suit and the kingpin type thing. And then, you're going to have God be his dogs.
Yeah, and like, I'm not really against Solo. I don't think Solo... I think people don't give enough credit. I don't think Solo is like bad in that like mobster kind of persona. No. The problem is that he hasn't been presented as a threat for the most part. They're just like, well, he beats people up because he's got people on his side, but like himself, like at the end of the day, Roman, and the only thing I can compare him to is Roman.
No.
So Roman, yes, he cheated to win all this stuff, but he could still hold himself against most people, in the roster. He was still a threat on his own, regardless of like the interference from the bloodline. There's a lot of people that were at his level that were close to beating him, and that's when he needed that extra push. But at the end of the day, he could take care of most of the people in the roster on his own, and that's what hasn't been established with Solo.
A lot of it, like you said, is like they literally watched him for months behind Roman be like, that guy that was going to interfere. It was going to hit the spike, and that was like done. Like that guy was beaten, and then Roman loses at Mania, and like the next Friday, here comes Solo out in like the suit, and he's like taking in charge. So like, you have to establish that, like, however long Roman's away, which I'm gonna guess is gonna be a minute, but you have to like show like Solo is that guy. He's got to put Paul in his place. He's got to put the Tongans in his place. He's even gonna have to probably put Jacob in his place, which people ain't gonna like because they're gonna be like, "Oh man, he's getting buried." But I mean,
right now it's just like a brute playing dress up rather than like he needs to be like smarter than.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just like I said, than just being a goon, you know.
Yeah.
Because right now, like I said, he's just a goon with a suit, you know. I can't even. I'm trying to think of The Godfather, but there wasn't really an instance like that because I don't know if you've seen The Godfather.
Yeah.
But Michael takes over from Don Vito after Don Vito dies, which he was going to take over anyway. But it seems that before Michael takes over, Sony was going to take over. And Sony is more like Solo. He's more like it's not really a fair comparison because he was a much more complex character. But at the end of the day, the fact that he was going to go and take care of some business instead of like instead of him going himself, that's what got him killed. No. If you haven't seen The Godfather, spoiler for The Godfather, a movie from 50 years ago.
Yeah.
But that's what got him killed. The fact that he was gonna go like try to take care of something and he wasn't really that guy, instead of letting somebody else take care of it. Where, you know, Michael was smarter to kind of like, you know, sit back and just kind of like let things play out and be the Godfather rather than try to be a goon trying to be the leader. Like, you have enforcers to do this shit. So like, don't do it yourself, you know. But also like, you have to be smarter than them.
Yeah, if he can take over and do like the kind of the kingpin type thing and like have the Tongans and Fatu do all this stuff for him. And then as soon as people start being like, you know, hey, like, you're only doing this because of these guys, he can sit there and be like, but for months, I was the one who was spiking all of you and stacking you. Roman may have pinned you, but I laid you out.
Yeah, I did his dirty work for him.
Like, don't forget and put some respect on my name, and you might get something out of that.
Who knows? They're putting a lot of trust in him if they're gonna go that direction with Cody.
Yeah.
There's the 3-on-3 at Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of these like babyface team versus the Bloodline matches. I think that it's interesting now because before you had like the involvement of Roman Reigns, that is very much a trios wrestler. In case anybody forgot about the Shield. But like for the beginning of his career, the first 3 years of his career, that's all they did, just have trios matches. And they kind of like, in a way, they revolutionized the style. They made it so that trios matches became like this like fast-paced, like fun type of match instead of just being like a fucking, well, here comes the baby faces. There's the tag team that's gonna do the work, and then at the end the big baby face comes in with the hot tag. You know, they kind of changed the dynamic, having like 3 guys that were like completely different styles. And even if you were to throw Roman in like a trios match now, I feel like he would still work. Like, he would work well with the Usos, for example. Yeah. It's just that, I mean, and that's the other thing. What's gonna be the Bloodlines team? Is it gonna be Solo, Fatu, and Tama Tonga? Is it gonna be God and Fatu, which that's what I would rather see? Or is it gonna be like Solo and, I mean, the weirdest combination to me would be Solo, Tangaloa, and Fatu probably, or just leaving Fatu completely out.
I don't even know. Like almost in a way, if I was Solo, I would let the other 3 be the team, and then I'd be the guy outside. Because, like, I mean, all the stuff that happened with Paul, like, I don't know if he's, like, still hooked on a chain with them or not. Yeah. But, I mean, you could definitely have Solo be just like that outside interference.
Yeah, I'd much rather see like I said, God and Fatu be like
For sure.
the trio as opposed to having Solo involved.
Yeah,
especially now.
Yeah, it would be weird because, like, especially with Tama, the way he's been since he's debuted, and you got Jacob, and then you got Solo, you would literally have a guy stone-faced with, like, 2 wild dogs behind him, just behind him. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. No, it doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. Well, speaking of Heyman, he's another guy that doesn't fall in line.
Hell no.
So Punk, they were in Chicago, so Punk came out.
Yeah.
Big pop for Punk in Chicago, of course. He was talking his shit, as always. He talked about Drew McIntyre, all the shit. And then finally Heyman came out and he's like, you need to leave because the bloodline's going to fuck you up.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay.
So.
Like, fake ass fucking bloodline's going to take me out.
Yeah.
So then he's like, and I need you to do me a favor. So, Bloodline came to threaten him. Punk is standing up to them. And he's like, what was that favor, Heyman? And he's like, take me with you. So, and I don't know why Solo, lets him do that. He's got to do something about Heyman.
Yeah, he gave Heyman, the evil eye for a minute, but, I mean... That Punk and Heyman reunion, that little hug and everything, that was beautiful.
That was good stuff.
Yeah.
I think that I truly, Heyman is, incredible.
Yeah.
I don't even know. And, Punk is perfect, so.
I could definitely see myself being one of them dudes that would have stayed in ECW for years.
Oh, my God.
I know. Fuck me for being loyal, but Heyman just seems like a good-ass dude. And he seems like I would have had creative freedom and everything. I feel like I could have I wouldn't have wrestled New Jack. That would have been in my contract. But other than that, I mean,
and you get to hang out with Tommy Dreamer and Sandman and RVD.
Yeah,
that doesn't sound too bad.
I just want to hang out with Tommy to meet his wife. That's it.
Whatever it was. Well, you get to hang out with Francine. And
shout out Beulah McGillicuddy. Full ass legal name. Let's go.
You get to hang out with some baddies.
Yeah.
Legit former strippers.
Lita.
I can't believe... It doesn't matter. Follow History of ECW on Twitter. That's Patrick the Heel runs that account, actually.
It's great.
But I don't know, man. I don't know that I could... With Heyman? Hell no. I would just catch on to it. I'd be like, this is bullshit, man.
Yeah. I'm sure eventually I'd be like, yeah, Eric Bischoff's calling or Vince is calling or something, but
dude, I don't know. I'm watching... I just finished History of ECW. History of ECW. Who killed WCW?
I haven't finished it yet.
Okay. And a lot of the time, it seems like people felt about Bischoff the same way that people felt about Heyman.
Oh, for sure.
There's something about these promoters that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. A lot of people trusted Bischoff with their lives. It seems they were well, he didn't kill WCW. It was somebody else.
I don't know where they get most of that from, considering I do understand a little bit because they had so many people above him give him the keys, so many people that he was in charge of, and he was just thrown in there. But, I mean, he put himself on TV. He joined the NWO, all this stuff that happened. So, I get not fully taking the blame, but at the same time, I mean, Eric Bischoff, you kind of contributed.
You're pretty responsible.
Yeah, you and probably Hulk Hogan and Vince Russo all held the gun together.
I mean, everything went... I don't know. I don't fuck with Russo, so...
I'll even throw Kevin Nash in there. Fuck you.
So, anyway, Punk is about to be attacked by the Bloodline. Cody comes out with baseball bats.
Sting?
He's going full Sting. He's been watching Who Killed WCW. I also listened to Rey Mysterio interview with Chris Van Vliet.
Yeah.
And he also said that he had been watching History of WCW. And they brought up the thing about Kevin Nash throwing him like a lawn dart. He didn't say this was my idea. He didn't own up to it. And he said he watched the show.
Damn.
So, like, I wish he would have just been like, oh, by the way, Kevin Nash came up with it. Or, like, I came up with it.
Just want to let you know, Kevin ate too many somas that night, and he's lying. I never said throw me through a fucking glass window.
I said, don't throw me through the glass window, as a matter of fact.
I said, put me down, you giant bastard.
I don't know, man. Ray's kind of crazy, so I don't know. Like, he's one of the guys that would, like, do anything for the business. I don't know, man. He's like, on the interview, he's talking like he wants to wrestle for 10 more years.
But
then he's also like, well, I think about, like, when I'm, like, going to wrap it up or whatever. Who the hell knows?
He's one of those guys that, like, he'll be like Taker. He'll get a call, and he'll hit a 619 or a frog splash. Yeah. But he wants to be one of those guys that's still able to do things on his own. He don't want the business to take him out.
I don't know. It's weird because Taker said that for so many years, and then he ended up.
I think Ray feels it with his knees though, because of like, like that's his style is so athletic and been always very athletic that he just doesn't want to not be athletic Rey Mysterio.
He says he feels so good though.
Well, I mean, even with stem cells are.
I guess even with 5 knee surgeries.
Yeah.
So I'm not like okay, well, I didn't even note anything about Cody here because the whole thing's just been kind of blah. Jacob Fatu definitely injected a lethal, dose of whatever good stuff to the whole thing. And hopefully somehow, some way. I mean, I'd rather see Jacob Fatu versus Cody at SummerSlam rather than Solo. But I mean, there's time to build Solo up, so who the hell knows? And Cody's already beaten Solo, so
no.
Unless Solo's gonna beat him, I just don't see anything happening. Maybe a Roman return. That's probably about it. So Drew McIntyre, CM Punk. What was it? So they already had special or extra security on SmackDown because of the Wyatt Six.
Yeah.
And it was weird that whose backstage segment was it?
Wasn't it?
Was it a tag team?
Yeah, it was Austin Theory and Grayson Waller,
and then Gargano and Ciampa. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
So whatever they're doing, they hear a loud thud on the garage, and if I was in security, I'd be like, I'm not opening the fucking door because someone just did a loud thud.
Last time somebody did that, they drove a tank from a different promotion. Fuck that.
So it very much seemed... So the guy, like, calmly walks to, like, the garage open. He was probably out of position. That's probably what happened. He walks over, opens the garage, and it seems that Drew McIntyre just bashed, CM Punk's brains into, like, the garage door.
Yeah.
He was pretty bloated up from the head. I heard a little bit of like, it was fucking raspberry jam. And maybe it was a blood pill. But then I saw that picture of Mox at Bloodsport.
Yeah.
And the red they didn't look that much different.
Nah.
Like when blood is fresh, it's pretty fucking bright.
Yeah.
Obviously it dries up really dark.
Yeah.
But I mean.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I wasn't sitting there thinking like makeup or nothing, but at the same time, I wasn't thinking he just like gigged his forehead.
Yeah, I mean, blood capsule, whatever it is, I don't think it looked bad, but I mean, that's besides the point. It looked fucking great to me. He carried Punk all the way to the arena. He dropped him,
That dump looked rough.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like, is that a bump? Do you have to be cleared for that?
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not a WWE doctor, but it seems like you have to be clear for that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would guess so. I mean, you're getting dumped on a hard surface and
from like 6 feet.
Yeah, he braced with his arm. Yeah. So I mean, I would guess like they didn't tell him like, hey, make sure whenever you throw Punk, you throw him on his left arm because his right one's still fucked.
Right. I who the hell knows? I mean, that's, again, beside the point. Drew had just quit, though. And on Monday, he's like, well, I quit, but, whatever. everyone quits their job every so often and comes back, which I get that. I think that there's gonna be we wrestling fans hold on to things, sometimes, and I'll bring something up as to why I'm saying this, and let me jump around a little bit. I mean, there's nothing much to say about that segment with the blood. It was fucking great.
Yeah, it was perfect.
It was truly like
it was everything fantastic. It needed to be.
Yeah, it was like a very good way to like set up this like literal blood feud. I don't know what the match is gonna be, but it's gonna have a stipulation.
Yeah, I want the dog collar, but I feel like for the first match, like I don't know if they will do anything.
Yeah, I don't know, and
because Punk was very much against like the Hell in a Cell idea, and I feel like he's wanting this to branch out to where that could be the end game of it. But like we're gonna have to probably do just them, maybe a street fight or something, and then it will go that far. But
the physicality of it, to me, it seems silly to just do one-on-one match. I think it has to be a street fight, or like a last man standing or something.
If they do the street fight, I mean, that would be great because Punk will definitely do the jeans.
Yeah, that would be so fucking dope.
Yeah,
I'll give him 5 stars right then and there.
Yeah, he'll do the jeans, but McIntyre will stay in the tights. I don't know.
McIntyre with jeans on the tank top?
Shit, I don't know. That or he just does it in the kilt,
dude. Street fight, both in jeans. Him with the tank top, Punk in just like a regular cut-off shirt, or like his regular, fucking Ramones shirt or Rancid shirt or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like that's like a fucking old timer.
If he doesn't do the jeans, he should at least do the shorts with the X's on the side.
Oh yeah, bring back okay. If he doesn't do the jeans, I'm getting the fucking mana right now. If he doesn't do the jeans, I'm all elite. Yeah. If they do a street fight, of course. With the dog collar, that's got to be like a end of a feud,
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's SummerSlam though.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless, I mean, we still got time for Money in the Bank if they decide to maybe speed up the first match to where SummerSlam will be like the blood feud is elevated type thing. But I don't. It's probably going to be a street fight first time. Yeah, and it looks like I've read somewhere they might be doing a Bad Blood pay-per-view. I'm so fucking hyped for that.
If they do Bad Blood, I mean that's a perfect place to do a dog collar match
for sure.
I'm so fucking excited. Yeah. And like the thing about a dog collar match is that it doesn't require a lot of like danger. For the most part, you have and obviously there's FTR and the Briscoes, which is not. I mean that's like probably one of the best. Yeah. Punk and MJF, of course. It doesn't require a lot of like big moves. It's mostly about the physicality. Oh yeah. So there's a lot of room to do a really technical match that also has like the chain, Oh yeah, and it can be driven so much off of like the emotion and stuff because McIntyre feels like he's been fucked over. So if he just ties up Punk and just starts beating the shit out of him, you got this babyface Punk that'll just have children thrown his way as like CM Punk, and there'll be McIntyre being like, "No, fuck Punk, he interfered in the match." he did interfere in the match. Man, I'm excited for that. Yeah, it'll be great. I think it's a missed opportunity if that doesn't main event SummerSlam for sure. I'm just saying. All right, so let's move on to your favorite wrestler, Liv Morgan. She's been still on her her grind, grinding on Dom on her grind, trying to get Dom being her good graces. She gave him like a whole plate of like it was like chicken nuggets, no sauce, no bev either. No. PS5. What else did she do? I don't. Well, I know that she sent him like a nice text, whatever that was. I was gonna say had Carlito tore up. Carlito was like, "That's cool." So, she still doing her thing. Liv Morgan and Zelina had like, well, it was it first just Dom and Liv that were just like kind of going back and forth, and then Selena popped up, or was it Dom showing up after? I think it was just like Liv.
Yeah.
Like, oh, do you like that stuff? And then Selena's like, I don't want to hear this, and that's when, I don't remembering it all.
Yeah, there you go.
That's when Dom came out. Selena looked great, or sounded great.
Yeah,
I should say. I did find it funny that Dom was trying to say something, and she's like, well, I want to hear you out. And then he says something, and she's like, I don't want to hear none of that.
Yeah.
That was a little bit a misstep for Selena. They're having the match next week, Selena and Liv Morgan, for the women's world title.
They should save that for Money in the Bank.
Yeah, it's just kind of random that it's happening on Raw.
Yeah.
Selena's definitely not winning.
Unless they're going with a very small card for Money in the Bank. Like, I don't see why Zelina would not get the pay-per-view match.
5-match show, man. That's what it is. That's a Triple H. That's an NXT TakeOver model.
I like the small cards. Like, they're really good because the matches feel like they're given time to breathe. But, I mean, certain titles getting like the championship match before or like not at all, it's just kind of weird. Yeah. Especially with her being in kind of like a pretty prominent story right now.
Yeah.
Like, why not go ahead and just, So
on the main event, but before the main event, Liv comes out of, Priest is hanging out backstage or whatever the fuck he's doing.
Yeah.
Liv comes out of the locker room and he's like, he just fucking hates her. And then Balor is in the locker room looking real suspect.
Balor's been up to some stuff here lately.
Shenanigans, man.
Yeah. And I don't know why he's fucking around either. He's got a Latino mommy at home.
I know. He's married to a Mexican girl.
Yeah.
So, no reason to be fucking around.
No.
Finn, what are you doing, man? So he's like sitting there with the fucking controller. I read a post on Twitter that was like, Finn Balor had a great night. He got to play on the PlayStation. He won some tag titles. He got to hang out with Liv.
Great night for him.
To me, it seems like it was more of a Liv helping the Judgment Day, and maybe that's why, because they ended up winning the tag titles.
Yeah.
Defeated Awesome Truth. What did you think of Mrs. commentary, by the way?
He was okay at times. There's I don't know. He's definitely not the same as McAfee. Like, you don't feel the hype and the energy, but I mean, he was okay at times.
I think he sounded enough like McAfee. I'll say that. Like, his voice was enough like McAfee at times. He doesn't have the chemistry with Cole, but that's more of like you kind of have to learn to get to that point. So I get that. They did win the tag team titles though, JD and Balor.
Yeah, which is good because it was time for Awesome Truth to lose them.
I think Truth and Miz should have lost Monday after Mania. They fucking overstayed their welcome. Honestly,
you wanted them to have the Zack Ryder title run?
I love Miz. I'm like an all-time Miz fan. Trust me. But Miz is just better now he's better just as an ambassador and a solid mid-carder. Yeah. And again, there's nothing wrong with doing that. If he wants to do the tag team thing with R-Truth, it's fine. They got the nice moment at Mania. But again, then you have to book for the next show. And they were champions for like 70 days. So
yeah, that's good.
I mean, it was a solid reign.
Yeah.
And Truth got the Mania moment, but it was time. I don't know that I would have given it to Judgment Day, because now it's like, is the LWO gonna beat him? Because Selena is like kind of beefing with Dom and Liv, or like, what direction are we going with this?
That's where I would go with it. I mean, definitely get the titles back off of Judgment Day, because they're always kind of going to be there, but you got to elevate these other teams like the Creeds.
Yeah. The Creeds are just kind of hanging out. So Chad Gable won his qualifying match.
He did.
He won only because of the Judgment Day, by the way, because they attacked Braun. It seemed like all the fucking the cards were stacked against him.
Yeah.
For the most part, but he won. So he wanted to, celebrate with the with the family, with the Alpha Academy.
Yeah.
And they just kind of didn't fuck with him. And that's when the Creed showed up. What happened?
Yeah.
So it looks like they're going that direction. So what I was saying before about wrestling fans holding on to things is the fact that they're like, well, what are the Wyatt Six? What do they have to do with Gable? And honestly, the answer might be nothing. They could just be doing nothing with him. He just happened to be there. It's just a coincidence that he was there. And they attacked him because he was there.
Yeah.
And that's not their, agenda. It's just like...
I was going to say, I mean, just watching the video, I mean, you see Gunther's there. The one guy with the blood on the wall, wasn't that, Kenny Dykstra?
Well, I don't know. And then,
there's been names everywhere.
It ended up being that the only victim was Gable, essentially.
Yeah.
But... with all of this, it's again, they just happened to be at the wrong place, or Gable did, and the production people.
Yeah.
So I don't think that the Wyatts are coming after Gable. Seems like a weird pivot because he's in the middle of the story with with the Alpha Academy.
I would take it about like you said, genuinely they were in the wrong place, wrong time, and that was them making a statement, not so much as we're gonna take him for some reason.
Yeah.
But
and he ended up winning, so I mean, it didn't really.
Him with the Money in the Bank case would be pretty dope.
I think that's the direction I would go. I mean, we have so far we got Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Chad Gable, of course.
Andrade would be great with the case too.
On the men's side, I think Andrade can get to Cody without the briefcase, and they have a little bit of history from AEW.
Yeah.
So you can
flaming tables this time. God.
Kind of play that. Cody can be like, last time I was in a match with you, I fucked my back up.
I put you through I put myself through the table, but I flipped you over it.
And Brandy set the table on fire.
Yeah.
Awful. So next week, or I should say this Friday and Monday, we got qualifying matches. For the men's side, LA Knight, Logan Paul, Santos Escobar. Logan Paul in a SmackDown match is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
He did have one not long ago, though. Then we have...
It's good that they're going to put Santos in there, though.
Right. At least to have a chance.
No, I mean, he's probably going to win that match.
You think he's winning that?
Yeah,
because they cancel each other out?
Yeah, because LA Knight and Logan Paul, that's a one-on-one match for the U.S. title, and Santos will win.
I think if LA Knight misses out on the briefcase again, there's gonna be hell to pay.
It's only a matter of time before LA Knight gets a U.S. title. They've already planted the seed there, and they've slowly made it grow. So I say Escobar's gonna win that.
We got Sheamus, Drew, and Ilya Dragunov. That's a sleeper match. Well, it's not even a sleeper match. It's just like a pay-per-view main event right there. And then for the women, so far, Io Sky, Chelsea Green, Lyra Valkyria have qualified. Then we have two women's qualifying matches on SmackDown, which is Naomi, Blair Davenport, Indy Hartwell, and then Candice LeRae, Jade Cargill, and Tiffany Stratton.
Triple H, you look me dead in my eyes. If you do not give that Money in the Bank title to Chelsea Green, I will come to Greenwich, Connecticut, and I will find you. And I'll throw you through the window of your living room like you did Randy Orton in 2009. She is her.
The home invasion angle. Okay, so I don't know, man. I mean, Chelsea Green has to. I think that's. I would be okay with Io going back to back. Chelsea Green or Tiffany Stratton. But Tiffany has to get through Jade.
Yeah.
You know what? Candice LeRae may end up winning that match. Because if Jade and Tiffany are feuding, kind of because of Nia Jax, then maybe you get Candice LeRae winning. But Tiffany could just steal the win. I mean, she's an expert at stealing wins. On the other side, you have Naomi, Blair Davenport, and Indy Hartwell. Looks like they're trying to establish Blair as a thing.
Yeah.
So it would at least be nice to have her featured on the match.
Yeah.
But again, you have Naomi there.
If she has a good enough showing, she doesn't technically have to be in Money in the Bank. Like Naomi would be fine. Yeah. But, yeah.
Indy, I just don't see it. I like Indy Hartwell.
Yeah, it's just not yet.
Yeah, it's just not the time.
Yeah.
And then you got Zoe Stark, Dakota Kai, and Ivy Nile. This one's kind of I don't know. That's a toss-up to me.
Yeah, it's either Dakota or Zoe.
You think so?
Yeah, but...
Man, Triple H fucking loves him some Zoe Stark.
Zoe's good.
She must have dirt on him.
Yeah. No, she's really good. She's just in one of those spots where, like, her first exposure to the main roster wasn't great, and then she just kind of floated for a minute.
Yeah.
But she's really good. She's talented in the ring, but I just don't know between her and Dakota who will... Like, if Dakota gets in, like... Well, that might be the right move to help Io, or they work together, because Io's kind of been lately like, you know, if Damage Control don't change, I'll change it.
Yeah.
So maybe they get in there, work together, and then Dakota turns on Io.
Maybe. I don't know. I also don't think it's time for that. It'd be cool to see Dakota grab the win. She doesn't really get a lot of wins.
Yeah.
Other than the qualifier. Well, I mean, I can predict the winner for both, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. Seems like so they would have 6 people. I'm good with the 6 people Money in the Banks. I think they've done like a 7-person.
Oh, they've done a bunch
and
before.
8-person too. I think that's too much.
Yeah. I felt like at one point they had like...
You think 10?
I was thinking 10.
I feel like 8 is the maximum.
Yeah.
They definitely had 8 people on Mania 26, probably. Because that was like the match to like be in before, like the showcase match, as opposed to like the Battle Royal or like a big 6-man tag or like a multi-tag match. Like the only way to get on WrestleMania was to be in the Money in the Bank or to have a featured match. Other than the qualifiers, I also know today that Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio are facing off again on Raw.
Let's fucking go.
This is only their second match, actually, because the last one was a tag team match. And then, of course, there's the Mania match.
Yeah.
So
we're getting closer to the hair versus mask you want.
I think they might do it at SummerSlam. Now, I heard Ray talk about doing a PLE in Mexico. If we get to that point, maybe they need to... Because he said, well, if we're doing a PLE in Mexico, we have to do a mask versus hair match.
Oh, for sure.
And he mentioned like a 3-way with Santos and Dominic, which, sure. But he said maybe whoever loses either loses their hair, the mask, and they have to retire, something like that. That's what he say. Maybe if they eventually do a Mexico pay-per-view or PLE or whatever, I think Ray and Dom, mask versus hair. I think that's a place to do it.
Yeah.
If you can't do it then, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, I'm good with either, but it has to happen, man.
Yeah.
It's got to come soon. I'm ready for it. So the Wyatt Six dropped off a tape for Michael Cole, a VHS tape, after the Gable match, after he won. Nikki Cross or Sister Abigail or I'm Abby the Witch.
Yeah,
whatever.
I was going to say, she's Abby the Witch to me.
Yeah. So Abby the Witch, she dropped off a VHS tape for Michael Cole, and he was like, I guess we'll see if somebody in the production truck can play this.
Yeah.
So they played it. Again, the Wyatt Six they know how to work technology because they do all this QR code shit and all this editing tricks and shit. But then they choose to use a VHS. So I think that's just that's just an artistic choice.
Yeah, for sure.
Not that because if they know how to use technology, why are they using VHS tapes?
Because even the VHS tape was like chopped and screwed over and everything like that. So
again, just an artistic choice.
Yeah.
So Uncle Howdy is sitting with Bo Dallas, having kind of like the Mankind.
Yeah,
interview.
this was awesome.
Really, that's what I was thinking of the whole time. Like a very reminiscent of the Mankind interviews they used to do.
Yeah.
Uncle Howdy doing like a weird voice. He straight up is like, how did it feel when your brother died?
Yeah.
And Bo's like, it was like the worst thing that ever happened to me. Very much seemed Bo looked very normal, and by that I mean he was very reminiscent of the last Bray Wyatt like presentation.
Yeah,
of just being like a guy.
Yeah,
and maybe that's kind of like the whole deal with the Wyatt Six, that they have their personas, but then when they show up, they're just like like they're just like, you know, Bo Dallas, Eric Rowan, Dexter Lumis, Joe Gacy, and Nikki Cross. They're not like a new character. Seems like we're heading that way, but who knows? Really good stuff from Bo Dallas. Really like emotionally charged. He's doing a good job. He's doing much better than I like anticipated.
No.
But I do know that he's got like that in him.
Yeah.
Anyway, and the more I listen to him and the more that I see his face, he just sounds so much like now I just cannot see Bray in him.
Well, surprisingly, Bully Ray was one of the people that I thought had a really good like idea on the whole thing. He goes, you know,
no way.
I swear, I had to watch it twice because I was like, no way he had like a
good opinion.
Yeah. But he was like, you know, this was not like him acting or nothing. This wasn't a script. This was him feeling and giving you raw emotion and everything. Like, this wasn't even Bo Dallas. This was Taylor Rotunda talking about the worst time in his life and how it affected him and how it's led him to where he's at as a character.
And I did like the thing that he said about like we were like on top of the world. We were like about to take over or whatever.
Yeah.
Because right before Bray passed, it seemed to be the direction they were going. It was the first time that Bo and Bray were gonna work together.
Yeah.
You know, it seemed that way. So yeah, I mean, really powerful stuff. Really great. I'm still excited to see what happens next. What we're doing with this whole thing. I've already seen dumb fucking things on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, should he dethrone Cody? Well, first of all, they're on different brands.
Yeah.
Second of all, why? Like, what the fuck does he have to do with Cody?
No.
And if Bo is going to be the guy, I don't think he needs like a title.
No titles. Like, I wouldn't, not a title for any of them.
No,
because it's not about that.
Right.
Yeah.
They have like that. It seems like, and we don't know their goal, but like right now it's like all about Bray Wyatt and like kind of like finishing what he started in a way. And maybe they're still trying to like, you know, right the wrongs, you know, because it seems like that was like the Fiend's intent in a way, to come back and like, you know, he took care of, you know, John Cena at WrestleMania. And, you know, his Randy Orton, you know, it seemed like his mission was to, like, right those wrongs from, like, Bray Wyatt before he turned into a Fiend, of course. So maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're going to come after, I don't know, who else left? The Undertaker? They already retired. They get him again?
If they do, I mean, they could literally use, like you said, the other personas, the Firefly personas as... like Bray did for the Fiend for the people who's individually wronged them. Yeah. So like where Rowan doesn't have Harper anymore for the tag, like maybe Gacy is.
Yeah, that's where he comes in.
Yeah.
And so I said last week that Bo's got a vendetta against Miz, so maybe he still look out.
That's probably the reason why he lost his title. That's so they don't have to bury him with
it. Yeah. Well, I mean, we did. I did want to talk about this. You just kind of to shift gears, you know.
Yeah.
Put it into third, or fourth, or fifth, whatever. Shayna Baszler is going back to GCW Bloodsport.
Yeah.
The one coming up in New York. I'm kind of upset that they are not. I'm going to the Cleveland show before SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And I really want that to be a big show.
Yeah.
And Brett Lauderdale, the GCW owner and booker, today he tweeted Becky Lynch. And then people started replying, what the fuck? And then he's like, it's a good wrestler.
Oh my God, what an ass.
So Shayna's going back to do Bloodsport. I wanted to pose the question to you. Other than Shayna, who would you send to do Bloodsport? Because there's a lot of options here. So, especially now with NXT Underground.
Yeah. God. Chad Gable.
100%.
Yeah. Chad Gable, Obafemi. Julius Creed.
Okay. I would
Sheamus.
love to see that. Sheamus doing Bloodsport would be fucking crazy. Chad Gable's the one that I really want to see.
Yeah, for sure.
That would be insanity. Sheamus would be like out of this world.
Yeah.
Either one of the Creeds would be cool. Charlie Dempsey already did Bloodsport.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can always throw him back. There's Damon Camp.
Yeah, true.
There is even like...
I'd have fucking Kevin Owens do it.
I know. I mean, even like Natalia. I'll fucking throw Natalia there. Fuck it.
I mean, Patrick the Hill's probably cussing you right now, but yeah, for sure.
I'm trying to think, like...
Asuka would be fucking sick
cool.
as shit.
She's hurt, though, but...
I know, but like... Every time her video pops up on Twitter of her and Minoru Suzuki, and he's just slapping,
wailing at her.
just beating the shit out of her. I'm like, there's somebody who could take an ass whipping.
Lola Vice, of course, she's legit.
Yeah,
she's already beat Shayna, Bloodsport. Damn it, dude! There's just like Ivy Nile. You can throw her there.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, it seems like
Nikita Lyons.
Oh, shit. No, like throw somebody that's like out of her like completely Maxine.
Yeah.
Like, all right, that's like Chad Gable's test. He's like, all right, this is what you're gonna do.
If you don't get knocked out within 3 minutes, you can stay in Alpha Academy.
It's like, it's Masha Islamovic. Let's see what you can do.
God damn it.
She just gets fucked up. I'm excited though for more involvement in the indies. I don't know if you saw another trademark file. It was like WWE Independent Development. Yeah. WWE IT.
I've seen that.
If you don't follow NXT, what's his name? What's the country man? What the fuck? Why did I forget his name? This fucked up because he's been doing some good work.
You talking about Brooks Jensen?
Yeah, Brooks Jensen.
Yeah.
So Brooks Jensen's been doing...
Didn't need to Google it.
Brooks Jensen's been doing this like loose cannon thing.
Yeah.
They don't show him on TV, but they kind of like allude to him.
Yeah.
And then you'll see the footage from the arena. Yeah. Where he's like trying to break into NXT. Yeah. He did show up at a independent show. He's been doing these like weird videos. It seems like he's gonna show up to more things. He might show up to this fucking GCW thing. If Brooks Jensen showed up to Bloodsport, it'd be pretty fucking crazy. Just for like the whole like thing again, like the loose cannon thing. Yeah. I don't know if they just don't have enough trust in. I mean, I know that Lexis King is trying to get away from Brian Pillman. Yeah. But like, I mean, you had him right there. You know, you could have just had him do the fucking loose cannon thing, but whatever. No. So Brooks Jensen is the loose cannon right now. They clearly see something in him. Yeah. To like trust him with
I knew they had something going for him as soon as they gave him Journey for
Oh my god, yeah. That's his like house show theme.
Yeah. I was like,
it's fucking crazy.
Fuck, if you're gonna give Journey to somebody and they played it on national TV, like yeah.
No, it's wild that he that he's doing this because it's just so like unique and it's so like not acknowledged by anybody.
Who's his dad?
Fucking Bull Buchanan.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Fucking John Cena's old pal.
I was going to say, I could not remember. I knew he was second generation, but...
Yeah, I mean, random ass second generation. Yeah. But I feel like he might be third generation.
He could possibly be. But legitimately, like, Shayna going back to Bloodsport is insane because of not only her, like... her background, but the fact that like it's once again showing WWE under Triple H is not afraid of, going out and making friends.
Yeah. I mean, that's good. Yeah, Bull Buchanan. Going back to the Brooks Jensen thing. Okay, so he's only a second generation. Bull Buchanan, Barry Buchanan. Yeah, man. No, I mean, I'm excited. Obviously, you got AJ doing the Noah thing and Io Sky and Marigold. The GCW cooperation is there.
Yeah.
I've seen a little bit of... All people will always dunk on WWE, and it's fine. I mean, they're a fucking $1 million company. Yeah. Dunk on them. Who gives a shit? You know? But dunking on them because... Well, I should say dunking on GCW people for, like, standing up for WWE. Because Janela... So, with this Liv Morgan thing, there's been a little bit of, like, controversy from the worst parts of Twitter. Being like, oh, they're mocking the Janelle Grant lawsuit and shit like that. And it's a little bit dismissive to be like, well, no. Like, they're not mocking.
Yeah.
I don't think they're mocking that. I think it is, like, a coincidence. And maybe it's poor timing, whatever you want to say, with the lawsuit going on, with the Liv Morgan thing being like a little weird, a little bit too close to reality or whatever. But also to come and say, like, this is clearly what they're doing, and they fucking suck. It's like, I mean, like, find something else to, like, critique for.
I never even tied those two things together.
That doesn't even cross my mind.
No, my whole idea behind it was literally, like, Liv took the title, and now she's trying to take Dom. She's trying to literally just wipe Rhea out.
Yeah.
I thought it was just mind game. I'm not sitting here making those kind of connections.
I know, and, like, it's more like, you don't, like, not every, like, some things are just a story, man.
Yeah.
Just, like,
for sure.
Enjoy it for what it is. Who gives a shit? If it is close to reality, it is what it is. I don't think they're mocking anything, but Joey Janela, which is, like, a big time GCW, person, kind of replied to one of those tweets and was like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like, grow up, essentially.
Yeah.
And he caught some heat for that, being like, "Oh, he's good." Like, now it seems like he's trying to stick up for WWE or whatever. Yeah. I mean, probably not. If Brett Lauderdale has, like, good rapport with WWE, I mean, that's not really a bad thing.
No, and just because he doesn't mean he's, like, sitting there being like, hey, make sure all my employees kiss their ass. Like,
yeah, and, like, and every wrestler is a fucking carny in a way, and they will be like, oh, this is what I believe in, and then do other things for money.
Yeah, for sure.
It is what it is. I mean, people do weird things for money. It doesn't seem like a guy like Effie would, clearly he doesn't like Vince McMahon. But also, like, he's one of the guys that's always there for GCW. Seems, again, to have a good relationship with Brett Lauderdale. And at the end of the day, you don't know these fucking people.
I could see... he may not like Vince or whatever, but I could see, like, Effie and I could see Bussy doing something with fucking NXT.
I know, right? That'd be cool.
Like...
Especially, like... you know what? Ali... I think Effie is, like, a really good, like, wrestler. I think he's got really good psychology. Mm-hmm. The matches that I've seen with him, especially the last one I saw, it was him and Jimmy Lloyd. It was really good. And then him versus Mance Warner was also very good for different reasons, because it was more like a death match rather than a regular match. But I think he's got good psychology for a guy that wrestles in GCW. You wouldn't like, but he's a vet. It's pretty good. I think someone like Ali's a decent technical wrestler. She understands, like, crowd work, but I think she would benefit from being in a place like NXT that polishes her.
Yeah.
And she could, like, be something, like, much bigger. And I'm not saying she should go to NXT. If she wants to be an independent wrestler forever, great.
For sure.
I love him, I got a chance to take a picture with them, to meet him, shoot the shit for, like, a millisecond with them. Yeah. I think it was great. I love him in GCW. I hope they stay there forever. Yeah. I'm just saying.
For sure. If you're a, like, if you're a wrestler at any level and you got that much fame and you're doing your job good and you're in a good, strong company like GCW, like there's no reason or anybody that's like, oh, you have to go to WWE. No, you don't have to. You don't have to go AEW. You don't have to go TNA or AAA or CMLL or NOAH or anywhere else. You just do what's right. So, I mean, if she strictly is like, hey, I'm going to be, independent for the rest of my career for as long as I want, do you and be happy with it and solid. But there's a lot of people that want to chase it. Or you got people like, Jordan Grace who's pulling both. And
yeah. And, I mean, at the end of the day, some just want a steady paycheck and do what they love. And
yeah, for sure.
They get to do it, and cool. I mean, Matt Cardona is doing really great in the independence. But I feel like a part of him is like, God damn it, I wish I had that contract still. Like,
every time he seems to tease that he wants to go back. He was teasing it the other day when they announced the Indianapolis shows.
Yeah.
He's like, maybe the indie god should go to Indy and be in the Rumble. I'm like, if you show up in the Rumble, I mean, I'll shit bricks because I don't think it's gonna happen. But
I'm excited. We didn't talk about that, but I'll definitely try to do the Rumble. Mania's
gonna.
Mania's tough, man.
Yeah,
it would be easy to get to Mania.
It would just be
Yeah. I mean, it is Mania.
Yeah.
It's a big vacation to go to Indiana.
Yeah.
But I'll still try.
And SummerSlam goes to 2 nights.
Right. So do you think they're going to do 2 nights? So the Minnesota one is 2026, right? Or is that
Minnesota SummerSlam?
Yeah. I think that's 26.
26 because Indy's got 25.
Okay, so then is 25 also going to be 2 nights?
I thought that's what they promoted. I thought that's what they promoted, but I could be wrong.
I mean, I don't know. That could be the last one night. Not that it matters.
Yeah. I just think it's weird that I mean, I don't know.
I think it's crazy that they were like,
let's do 2 nights SummerSlam.
No, I think it's crazy they were like, Minnesota, 2 nights. And then Indiana was like, shut the fuck up. WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
If any event should be 2 nights, it should be the Royal Rumble. I mean, they got 2 fucking Rumbles.
I don't
think... Well, okay, for the record, I don't think any of them should be 2 nights.
Yeah.
The fact that WrestleMania is 2 nights is, fine.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, that's perfectly good right there. I don't need any of the other ones. What I need is, old school pay-per-views. Yeah. I don't need 2 nights of SummerSlam and 2 nights of the Rumble and everything else.
Well, if they're going to do 2 nights for the big events, then maybe just do,
the big 4 or 5 or
only
whatever.
Do those pay-per-views and the rest of them, I mean, still do PLEs, but make it more like an in-your-house rather than a proper
so kind of like
pay-per-view.
NXT does, with New Year's Evil and...
To me, it seems that, with the regular pay-per-views being 5-match shows, it is becoming more like that takeover format of, you have the takeovers, they have 5 matches, and then, whenever the big ones come up, Takeover 30 or, all of those, or, the WrestleMania ones, they're a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Maybe you keep it like that where, but I don't know, but they also are running a lot of international shows.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And that's the thing, because, France and Puerto Rico got Backlash, and Backlash is certainly not one of the top 4 or 5.
But it seems like now it's going to become a tradition to go international right after Mania.
And you can't blame them. These fucking international crowds.
I know. Backlash Mexico next year.
Let's fucking go. Hair versus mask.
The hair versus mask. Backlash. They can hit up Japan, I guess. The European crowds are just really great.
Yeah.
Uh,
Australia was dope.
They could, I don't know, New Zealand, how they do. They could do India. India probably has decent crowds.
Yeah.
Don't go back to Saudi ever again. I can't wait for this deal to be over.
It'll never be done, just so you know.
I hate it, man. Seems like it's been going on forever.
No.
I mean, when they started, it was a 10-year deal, so I guess it hasn't been 10 years yet.
No.
But it feels like it was forever ago when they started.
Yeah.
I just never gonna end. And I feel like they renewed it for like 5 years too, so.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it. And they're gonna get Mania. I'm so fucking sick of it. They're going to get Mania.
They're not gonna get Mania.
I don't know, man. I mean, I know people pay.
If they
have
do,
the money to get Mania.
They do have them. Yes, they got money, but I'm just saying, like, if they do, it'll be the same thing like their Rumble was. It'll be like, this is WrestleMania in Saudi, and they'll do like a whole show for them, but like it doesn't mean shit. Braun's had that fucking Rumble championship for like 9.5 years.
It's fucking bullshit, man. That's what it is.
He was fired and still had that bitch.
Listen, the people. That's true. The people of Saudi Arabia are fine. You know, I'm sure there are some of you that are great. The government of Saudi Arabia can go fuck themselves, okay? If they come for me, just remember, they can't come for me. Can they?
I'm not testing anything. I do not condone or accept the statements by Carlos.
These are my personal statements and
Nope.
do not represent Midwest Midcard.
I am completely... I'm an independent contractor, damn it. Maybe I'll take my talents to New Japan or fucking Ring of Honor.
Hi, Colt Cabana. I'm just tired of it, man.
Yeah.
I just don't want the Saudi shows anymore.
I'm old and tired and deal with fucking children.
It's like you empty-headed dumb fuck.
Yeah.
I truly I just don't like, the crowds are just not good.
No.
And
Well, that's because it's become over there like it's not like a spectacle anymore. It's
like an occurrence.
Yeah, it's tradition. They know like, hey, every fucking May or whatever they're gonna get something, whether it's the crown jewel or now the king and queen of the ring. So it's just
they're getting crown jewel at the end of the year too.
Yeah, it's just not been. It's not exciting. It's not like how like they're doing Bash at Berlin and they've done Clash at the Castle, stuff like that, to where it feels like holy shit, like these are made for us. We're marketed like this is us. It's just become a thing.
Yeah, and they just don't book like anything worth anyone's time.
No.
I mean, the Cody and Logan match was fine, but at the end of the day, like, it was just so like insignificant.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
They ended up picking back up to the Cody and AJ thing. So anyway, I think we should just close it up there.
That's right.
Thank you for listening. If you, again, like I said at the top of the show, if you like this, like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you're on the audio, Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, subscribe, leave a 5-star review. Is there anything you want to add?
I don't think so. You guys just gotta join in and listen and watch Midwest Midcard. It's a good time, no matter who's in this seat. That guy's always here.
I am always here. Where can people find you online?
Find me only on Twitter. That's the only place I'm really at and talk about all this stuff. So I'm Shenanigans7.
And I am Air Carlos 97 on Twitter. Make sure you follow Midwest Midcard on most platforms. On Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, like I said. TikTok, we hit 400 followers.
Damn.
Very excited for that. At Midwest Midcard on all of those. We're doing some awesome, cool shit. So anyway, let's call it there. I don't know if you want to sign us off with everyone's favorite catchphrase.
Let's go. For my boy, grown ass baby 26. Always remember to live, laugh, love, and wrestle.
We'll see you next week.
Midwest Midcard is just too sweet.